Hello. This is a video about time. Tell inherent mother's energy. This is the cipher of the English language. Of what? Languages have an identity of relationship to themselves. That is the same way humanity is individual grouped in together, species, body of value. This is the same way living bodies have cells that connect for body of value discernment, for more and more quality of diffusion, whereas now one identity of forever nature is making more and more of itself. So we are temporary slash lasting space nature. We are also making more and more of a positive relationship to its perfect memory. Because this is in relationship to a value nature system that we have been other from since semi-ancient times, since before modern religion's messengers. Thank God for them distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously. Because human sciences, human fact treatment nature, justifications of that, treatments of positive, treatments of value, treatments of identity, have been criminally foreign influences in semi-ancient times, victims, but victim predators through the defenses of that, wherein as now accounts. Not by accident, everyone was made to not be able to fathom anything other, even though our founders had this involved the pathology of even suburban throughout the nations, modern nations. They have pathology of infrastructure that was forced since before cars to be the pathology of infrastructure per that method that was to the racketeering worse than fact treatment nature torture of and slavery of our founders. Parent, they didn't have free speech. They were tortured and wanted us to demonstrate that. Is for example, that's how and why George Washington and the founders that enabled them to have a unity that was to the extent it was, still far short of being able to be worthy enough to counter that which was already entrenched. Intercampuses of each age, inter sciences, homeschool, whatever, all differences. They have the quality of a human fact treatment nature in a trap that's semi-ancient. This is not debatable, but with lies, delusions, and self-value, criminally foreign influence takes on what scientific process really is and is about can reveal, and takes on scientific consensus. Those are scientifically defenses of such takes, as defenses of senses and sensibilities reliant upon premises treatments perpetually delusions wrought and criminally foreign influence formally everyone prevented demonstration of this. This is a system where we go by where we have the same nature, but it's distinctly, non-distinctly onto um, a point of liberation for women and for men, but also distinctly, non-distinctly a point of imposition. Especially when we have originally and still entertained not just lack of equality, exploitation of different forced roles with it. Then forced roles blaming the real causes of negative value nature progression, blaming uses of it, other things, others, and selves, defenses of that. Self-value to an states, all locations, areas, and states incapable of defending themselves individually grouped together. Treatments of identities, of titles, locations, identities of law, and us at the same time. That was used remote. So the difference, this is about the engineering of positive, where positive has a relationship not only to our own identity, not only to the grouped and to the shared species identity, distinct and non-distinct natures of volume bonded with us, not only to the rest of space nature note with no criminal foreign influences, but to this identity of relationship to itself, which is values complete nature, its complete identity. Whereas and how to temporary slash lasting space nature is value nature inside, even individually grouped and all together. It is inside values nature, making more and more of it, per how it is self-generating. So we have this is like a machine, perfect. It's evolution's identity, its identity of relationship to itself, that is positive, and it forces it from here as value when it's not positive. Now it's not positive, criminally legalized, and that was made self-valued all as victims, but as victim predators. So they can't take forgiveness while they are simultaneously having to be for it. For example, in relationship to the racketeering uses of the rights to religion, where they have free speech not permitted, where they have science criminally foreign influenced and delusions wrought. They need to pretend that their difference of science through they need to discern it many ways through contrast, like to religion, self-valuing those identity, the ground locations, religions too, still originally still the same thing. Everyone incapable of countering what is undercover foreign and domestic in collusion, interbranch. Pretend using that to pretend they have rights to do and pretend they're legitimately recording things. They're involved with database racketeering since before computers. All the people tied to it. Now we have to have this countered, but we have interbranch men and women forging names, switching names, stacking names, have done roles with this through time. These are further people associated with a whole bunch of people associated with a Gold family and with federal criminal court defendants of a former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and other cases that they have involved racketeering acts roles with and with the depositions that they're using for crimes in other cases and to hide their crimes with cases every day. The people that are only people who can counter crimes through not by accident. This is breaching red method roles originally and still. CCSU has sources recorded, a whole bunch of sources, interbranch recorded involved with houses on Church Street in Old Weathersfield that are involved with racketeering uses of my street, with people on and off CCSU and on and off Trinity College also involved with uses of child campuses criminally intercities through time. This is also sequence shifts that are used through time by people associated with this Gold family, with human trafficking, with on off WFSB locations, on off Fox Connecticut News. So this I don't want to make another real long video, but this is what we have to do: is have mandated law followed. Not only they are not following it now. We have courts that are making allegations against people criminally because they already know that they self-recorded themselves falsifying police reports with their own interbranch, many people, and in other branches with racketeering, with areas and intercampuses, with racketeering acts, with databases, with the perception of with what they write down, what they let other people write down. These are roles with human trafficking, per their roles with human identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering, sequence racketeering, pretending to honestly be trying to learn about other people or stuff like that. Not honest. They're involved with sequence racketeering. Since I was a kid, since other people a kid, lying about how they pretend they don't understand people. They pretend someone says something about someone does something wrong to you. They pretend some people are bad, like you believe everyone's bad. That's recorded into branch. They're stacking names, and then they criminally pretend people are think everyone's bad. They're also, since before the Trade Center attack, everywhere I went with people recorded tied to the house/S in my area, with the extended family members further involved with child sex offenders, and with FBI and with other federal natures of federal criminals, foreign and domestic, and the stewards of the Witness Protection Program, all involved with the same house/S, involved with them with forensics locations, state police, their family members. Further involved, doctors, foreign and domestic, involved with crimes with their patients and criminals before they were caught, and since hiding their life progressions. These are people involved with private agreements that are associated with the World Trade Center that are maintained self-valued manifest they can't do anything. They manifest. You can't defend that and allow free speech protraction and with sequence true. So we have a problem there. A whole bunch of women also involved on and off Fox Connecticut News and on and off WFSB, involved with evidence racketeering, databases racketeering with judges, people on and off the state judicial branch offices, people on and off the state prison offices through time. So respond for Fox Connecticut News and for WFSB. We're involved with human trafficking acts and with database racketeering, wire crime, mail crime rolls. Respond for them, someone. Respond for the judges, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with two Mendes police and with a since proven principal sex offender. They also have further racketeering racks rolls with, also with a whole bunch of other courts and people associated with a Leahy family involved with racketeering acts, forging names, faking conversations with me about agencies and about police equipment as their racketeering acts rolls with this Dillon family too, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by a whole bunch of people. They also stack names criminally while they're playing stupid, pretending people have conspiracy theories. They're also recorded and involved with mail crime, wire crimes with that. And I respond for them because they're also involved with racketeering uses of families in my area. Now, I just found out those are sisters. Now, I didn't know if they were gay or lesbian because they have the LGBTQ in the narratives of the interbranch lit people. Like Miss Warren, she's recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. She can't defend her treatments of a pseudo positive like that, fake theater, but fake care for people. You can't teach about what we forced black to be separate from our species, nature of volume and logic actual. When you're forcing those people, recorded, used by crimes with the male child sex offenders, used by women judges to hide their lipoaggressions, to hide the roles with many people with New Britain Superior Court, with Hartford Superior Court, Hartford courts, on and off the state judicial branch offices, on along that route involved with racketeering together, other motivations of racketeering for roles with it. Other people, they're pretending passions and emotions in relationship to the racketeering, preventing free speech. Since I was a kid, attaching kids and their families to fake locations, fake ties to other people, fake words, fake sequence relationships to other people. These are sick games they do through little boys and girls, especially how they have families with a whole bunch of the only ones who could afford to hold back a whole bunch of kids, using them to get over on the people who have people, maybe they have brother, sister, but not as many as them, and they couple that to collusion, all kind of stacking names of people that don't even know that know each other, all exceptions too. You don't know them too, barely. You only know them context they can't be honest about. So they're pretending passions and emotions. Like with this Delafair family, involved with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering with locations near that Samuel Dick's house, near the eastern side of the Goodwin Park Golf Course. Now, all around there are people involved with the house/SMI area with extended family members, further involved with FBI and with state police and foreign and domestic overt criminal enterprises with tied crime acts in the area, involved with untimely deaths on and off campuses connected. And that brought up the principal sex offender, as well as New Britain Superior Court's roles with the Facebook pages, interbranch and intercampuses with this. These are also people involved with CCSU and with Trinity College with racketeering with the houses in my new and past neighbors, and the ones with the extended family members, involved further with also one on the family of one of the people on the sex offender registry is further involved with town offices with a whole bunch of people with that were connected to the racketeering then and now with the principal sex offenders campus and with the forensics locations. Also, then as people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, he confirmed that Joshua Julian is also involved with them with racketeering and with overt criminal enterprises involved with the street and the witness protection program, also used by people intercities, by the same houses, used criminally by the wire crimes, mail crimes, and interbranch racketeering acts with the interbranch cliques, mainly tied to the house/S. Again, roles with all kinds of racketeering with people that went to school with me that were co-defendants of former director of the FBI. and associated with them on and off campuses racketeering, like on and off so Fox Connecticut News through since before through administrations. This used the Obama administration remotely in relationship to fact treatments, in relationship to Marbury versus Madison, in relationship to zoning laws, in relationship to this use each president. Their readings of the law recorded criminally foreign influence, delusions, raw, and having been used remote. They have to hide that. They don't have integrity. They have to hide pretending other. They have the perfect world involved with their narratives. They're involved with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his John LeConte, Thaddeus Grabowski, two Mendez police, Domain, their family, Domain family, other people, other women involved with them also with human trafficking, involved calling up police for racketeering uses of the Wethersfield police for wire crimes with them, mail crimes with them, crimes with police equipment, pretending they had conversations with people that need to pretend to tell on things they actually do. They pretend they told about them and they were in context they never tried to tell on, like the police equipment. Those are also doctors pretending they had conversations. They had relationships to patients that never were their patients. They never had conversations. They just faked that into databases. A whole bunch of people with New Britain Superior Court and with Hartford courts involved with racketeering with a Leahy family and with a Rick C.M. Faglione and with a Heather Hansen, with a Elena Davenport. A whole bunch of people, as people recorded, confessed all on with the Lowe's in Newington, with those shopping centers. That's down the street from the where Hangdog Lane goes in where Two Rod Highway goes into Hangdog Lane. Those are people involved with the Burlington Turnpike through time. Intercities involved racketeering. Church Street, Old Wethersfield, Main Street, right where George Washington had to come leave slavery overt with color, entrenched right before the last battle of the war, even with the French general's help. Right from there, all the way to CCSU along that route, is our people are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering acts and rolls on off CCSU with child campuses, intercities through time, worse than interstates, like with a Old Town Cafe too. Sequence shifts. Pretend I was there. Never. I never was there when I was young. I was there one time. They can't be honest about that. They have that involved with sequence shifts. Whole bunch of people tied to a Charlie Bowes and to a Joshua Stryker and to a Joshua Julian involved with racketeering on off Trinity College, as people involved with racketeering on off CCSU, on off child campuses, further than and now with the principal sex offenders campus. We have modern languages. They have to have how much things they have to interpret as a nation where that doesn't speak the other nations' languages, with intelligence, stuff like that. They have training that involved. Those people are involved with the racketeering that led up to and in the Trade Center attack context. Dr. Shube also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with various natures of courts, and his wife and kids involved with them with evidence racketeering and with database racketeering on off Yale College, on off Trinity College, on off those interbranch locations, on off locations next to WFSB, on off locations where people train military and such like that. In other words, criminally foreign influence. These are people involved with those courts, family members themselves involved with this, like a Delaferra family, involved with a whole bunch of people. I only know them barely. And only in context they can't be honest about, and they recorded, confessed, and demonstrated abuses of girls. That where they shared the whole bunch of sisters in a Spada family. Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They had other boyfriends at the same time, as the ones further involved with them with racketeering on off Fox Connecticut News, the buildings next to them. Forging names of doctors, switching names of doctors, all kinds of worse than corruption. misprising criminality. If that's the word. So if I'm wrong about the meaning of that word, it means each individual grouped and together. That's what I'm right about. They're recorded how their delusions wrought criminally foreign influence and having been and being exploited that way. You hear many pray. Bach sings, respond to me. Since before the Trade Center attack, every year I've asked for a response to any one of these recorded, confessed, demonstrated racketeering acts roles. And the people who made those confessions don't understand about the connected confessions of others from it. And don't pretend that means that I'm not a good person or I'm thinking other people are evil and stuff like that. They're trying to interpret my passions and emotions when you have fake courts. I'm going to delineate their delusions from their criminal foreign influences. That's where we're going to have American history heard here and now. They can't tell it. Respond for them. There was a whole bunch of people with a Judge Killian, but there are judges before him also involved with this Leahy family with racketeering with drugs in my area. Also with MPO Floyd. Also with other MPs involved with racketeering with FBI and CIA with their family members in my area, and with my name in their mind sick through time with their identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering roles, and with their roles with aggressions. So we have uses of sick women with aggressions with sick men that can't that they need to value the interbranch racketeering, identity thefts. We have some sick courts with people stacked that had no right to be doing business, and they're going to be punished for that. And the other nations that try to punish them because we're demonstrating they have no integrity, they're going to be punished for it there then. That's how we have to do it, or stay stuck. Follow mandated law right now. Respond to my posts. These are also people with timed ad placements with the news media, with WFSB, involved with racketeering with lawyers too. Criminal readings of statutes where they imply integrity to people in the case situations, but they're not supposed to be lying about what is actually recorded outside of courts and interbranch. So they're caught with criminal readings of statutes. They want to give themselves the benefit of the doubt, but they don't have the benefit of doubt because they are caught dead cold here. Racketeering with many ties to former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, even the doctors of FBI agents with mental illnesses and with physical delusions and with uses of their criminal with their families, with them pretending to be integrity. This is not personal, but I'm going to ravage your bullshit when you're fucking in my way with fucking with these confessions and uses of kids like this. I'm going to show you. Get them onto paper. Who's this O'Neill woman? Recorded, confessed, and demonstrated further involved with interbranch racketeering on off Trinity College CCSU with fucking child sex offenders, further with prosecutors involved with her and with WFSB. Where do they live? Let's get them onto paper now. Let's go. Let's get the rest of the people with the wire crimes and roles with the answering the phones at the campuses, because these are people through time with the same house /S with the extended family members as ones now involved with through time with all kinds of crimes with kids and with drugs and with falsified police reports, identity thefts, racketeering, identity frauds, also with these Mendez police. Now respond for them. Respond for them, interbranch now. Fake branches bow and fall. That's all.